Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to our latest general contractor webinar at PlanHub. We see quite a few attendants joining. Thank you for being with us. As we give people an extra minute to joining us, we would love to know where you are located. So if you want to write in the Q&A section where you are joining from, that would be amazing. And I'm usually in Utah, but today I'm in Argentina, on the other side of the world. Excited to be here with you. Darius, do you mind me asking where you are joining from?
Sure. I'm right now in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Awesome. Today we're going to be talking about how to access more pre-planning projects pre-planning stage and private projects with Project Lead Finder. We have done some really cool updates to Project Lead Finder, and today we're going to talk about those. First, I just want to do some introductions and housekeeping items. We want to welcome Darius, who's going to be our main speaker today. He's a lead product manager here at PlanHub and the brains behind a lot of the latest features that you have seen. Welcome, Darius.
Thanks, Eduardo.
And myself, Eduardo Masal, I'm product marketing manager here at PlanHub. I've been with the company for 2 years. Very happy to be here. As we get this thing going forward, I would love to get a little bit of feedback from you so we can tailor the content of the webinar towards your needs. So we're going to start with a quick question for you, or a poll. And you will see a pop-up in a second with the question and the options for the answers. If for whatever reason you don't see the pop-up, the question will still be on the screen and you can answer in the Q&A section anyways. So feel free to answer on the pop-up or feel free to answer on the Q&A section. All right, you should be seeing a little pop-up there. And the question is, what are your main concerns as you approach Q3 2023? And the options are inflation, build backlog, choose more profitable projects, build new relationships with owners and architects, winning more projects, and finding new projects to bid. Something that is a very interesting element from this is that when we did a similar survey at the beginning of the year, inflation was kind of a big deal. And now we are getting pretty much no concerns for Q3 2023. So things have definitely changed. All right. With that, we're going to end the poll. And the winners are finding new projects to bid, winning more projects, and third, with another 30%, build new relationships with owners and architects. I think this goes right hand in hand with what we're going to be talking about today. Let's keep those answers in mind as we move forward. Darius, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Eduardo. And my apologies if I trip over my words. So many of you know, as you start into the pre-construction phase, the very first thing you have to do is basically lead generation. And through that, following that, go through multiple different phases to where you actually end up winning a bid. In PlanHub, Project Lead Finder starts exactly at that very first step of lead generation. And this is where we help you identify projects that might be interest to you, and then finally take those projects all the way through that process, capture bids, compare those bids side by side, and then win that project and get started on it. Next, please. All right, so what does Project Lead Finder do and how can it help you? With Project Lead Finder, you can actually see contacts such as architects and developers and owners. And you can use that information to contact them directly, where you can get information about projects that they're working on, whether they'll be public or private. Also, you can get to see some conditions regarding that project. For example, you can take a look at the project site on a map, and that'll help you figure out, okay, how do we get access into that site? What's the egress? Do we have any, will it present any supply chain issues for us? Is the project located in an area that will affect its construction costs? In Project Lead Finder, you can find over 50,000 projects, and we continuously add projects to it every month. Around 3,000 or so projects are added on a monthly basis. 99% of those projects are going to actually have contact information on them, such as owners, architects, developers. And 90% of the projects are going to be projects that are hard to find, which are private projects that are not in the public sector. So, using Project Lead Finder, you can see a project's location on a map. Each project will have its own detail page. That means you could view multiple projects, their details, side by side. On a project, you can add notes and reminders for yourself. You can also share that project with any of your team members that are registered in PlanHub. Additionally, you can create different filters that you can save and use that'll help you save time when it comes to finding those particular projects that you need. For example, you create a filter for restaurants. You could create a filter, let's say, public projects for schools and such. All right, having said that, I'm now going to go ahead and share my screen and give you a view of Project Lead Finder. Right, so what we're seeing here is essentially a list of all the projects. Well, I wouldn't say all the projects because I'm using some filters, a list of projects that we have in Project Lead Finder right now. You can see I have listed over 80,000 projects. You can look at these projects in a tabular format. You can paginate through them and see, and also jump from one page to the next. There's a lot of projects here. So let us wait for a second until they load up. And additionally, you can search for keywords. For example, if you're interested in a project, let's say there is a contact by the name of Adam. Let's see if we have someone by the name of Adam working on a project. Now, this is gonna search all of our database, and you can see we found a project with a developer with the name of Adam on there. You can save your projects, the ones that you like, by clicking this heart icon, and then you can find them by clicking that saved filter. Additionally, when you use your filters and you find projects that you like, you can also use this CTA to export those projects in an Excel spreadsheet. We have the following filters that you can use to basically zero in on the projects that you'd like. For example, if I'm only interested in projects that are in the $20 to $30 million range or $30 to $40 million range, I'll also add to them to 20. When I choose those filters, we'll come back with the results, and we'll basically narrow down those projects based on your inputs. I might want to be interested in only certain projects, maybe in California. So I'm just going to search for projects in California. And then we'll also narrow down that. Then I can add Texas to it as well. So I'll pick my regions in Texas. And then you can see we are basically searching for those results and showing them to you. You can also look by construction type, whether it's commercial or government. You can also look by different type of use cases, whether they're restaurants, hotel or motels, community centers, theater and auditorium. I'm just going to go ahead and, like, for example, select restaurants, and then we'll basically load those projects up for you. If you've created a set of bunch of filters, you can clearly go ahead and reset all those filters. One thing that you can do is also, as I mentioned, save and manage filters. If I go to manage filters, there's a filter that we've created. I just click on it. That filter is applied. And then basically all the projects that adhere to that filter are shown. You can create a number of filters and you can even change filters. For example, I'm going to go and apply commercial. Now I'm going to go and click Save Filters. Now, since I was using a previously set filter, I don't want to overwrite it. If I did, I would click Save. But if I want to save it as new, I would go in here and type, I'm just going to call it new filter. Seems like I have my caps lock on. Then I save, and new filter is set there. And you can see that previously we used this particular construction type, and that it's set there. If I go to my manage filters, you can see that the new filter is there. Here you can also delete filters that you no longer need. Also, if you have multiple filters, you can also search through your filters to select the one that you like. Why don't we go ahead and delve into the contacts? So on the right-hand side, as you search through the projects, we have on here what we call a quick view card. This quick view card will give you all the pertinent information that you need at a high level to decide whether or not this project interests you. You might want to save it, or you might want to say, I want to remove it from my list. Here, by clicking this CTA, you can see all the contact information that is on this project. Additionally, you can click View Associated Projects. What that will do is bring up all the projects that particular contact is associated with. And you can see it brought up 3 different projects right there. If you scroll down, you'll see more information such as the location, the organization, okay, and additionally, most importantly, the value of that project. One important aspect is the details and notes. Why don't we go in there? When you click the details and notes of that project, you get to see all the information that we have available for it. For example, in addition to the quick view, you get to see, for example, what trades are required on this project. And this is searchable. For example, if I type in unit, you'll see unit masonry was one of the trades required. Again, you see all the contact information here as well. And you can also take a note. You can click this button. You can take a note, put a reminder date for yourself. Let's say call contact 1. I'm not going to save this because I'm in production, and that's actually a real account we use. So I'll just go ahead and hit cancel. But if I had done that, the note would appear down there, and you can also search within your notes. You have this map of where the project is. This is one of the newest features that we've added. It's an interactive map. You can zoom in and zoom out. And as I was mentioning, you can take a look, use this map to take a look at the site conditions. For example, taking a look at this map, we can see that it's off of a main highway. So you would have direct access to the job site so that you can factor in, okay, how do we get supplies in? How do crews come in? For example, if you have to put erosion control and dust control around the area, you will see that. You can see that, okay, over here, it looks like there's residences. So that'll give you some clues as to, for example, about noise abatement and things like that from the construction project. This will give you more information than just basically seeing the address and not knowing exactly where it is. So you can also see that here on the maps. You can also share this project with your team members. If you have team members registered in PlanHub, they will show up. You can select if you want 1 or 2, or if you want all of them, and you can click this button share, and they'll get a message within PlanHub that you've shared this project with them. Lastly, what I'd like to show you is our contacts. So we have also created a directory of contacts that are available on all the projects that we have. As you can see here, we have about 15,000, more than 15,000 contacts that we have pulled from all of those projects, and you can see all their email addresses and such. Okay. And additionally, I'm going to take this particular contact and I want to see if they're associated with any other projects. I click on that CTA, and if they're working on more than one project, in this case, they're only associated with one. But if they were more associated with more than one project, we would show all the projects that are associated with here. Like we did, for example, with this particular contact, Michelle Sacrantina. Sorry, I mispronounced her name. My apologies to Michelle. You can also search by first name. If you have a contact that you know by the first name, you can search by first name. You can also search by company type. Let's say, for example, they're an architect. You want to look for architects. You can find it here. And as before, you can also create filters. Okay. Okay. And now that you have created filters, you can apply that filter to basically narrow down and see only those particular folks that you want to see in Project Lead Finder. At this point, I've shown you everything that we have in Lead Finder and how you can use it to find projects to go after, making connections with the contacts that are on those projects, whether they be owners, developers, architects, share those projects with your team members, and get that project from a lead all the way through, connecting with the contact, sharing it with your subs, get bids in, create an estimate and proposal for yourself, and move it all the way through to the process where you can put in a proposal, bid on the project, win it, and then after winning, move into a construction phase. Back to you, Eduardo.
All right, Darius, thank you so much for sharing the new updates to Project Lead Finder. We have a few questions on deck, and for anybody else that wants to ask questions, this is the right time to do it. Feel free to write those questions in the Q&A section. We will answer them as they come in. If you have any questions about functionality that there is shown or any more context on Lead Finder, feel free to ask. We did get a couple of questions. One of them, Darius, is if a Project Lead Finder is an add-on for general contractors in PlanHub.
It is an add-on. It comes, you have to subscribe to a Premier membership, and then on top of that, it is an add-on.
Great. Let's see. Can you filter projects down by value or by specific cities?
You can filter down by values, absolutely. You can filter by regions. Some states have multiple regions. For cities, you cannot filter down on cities, but you can sort by location. So let's say, for example, you first filtered by value, and then you filtered on a specific region. Once you've got your short list of projects, then in the table, you can sort by location, so you can then get an alphabetical list. And then the ones that you like, you can save. And then you basically create a short list of your saved projects that you can refer to time and again.
Perfect. So you can find cities within the regions. So if you are looking for a specific city, you just need to look up the region that is included and you can see it there.
Correct.
Cool. We have a few other questions here. As supply house for LED lighting, what is the best way for us to utilize the system? we typically sell to electrical contractors, but also to some GCs?
That's a fantastic question. So if you're a supplier for LED lighting, what you can utilize the advanced filters, and in the trades and subtrades, you would basically look for, let's say, electrical lighting. And then you can find a short list of projects that are calling specifically for those particular trades and subtrades.
Perfect, thank you. Got a couple more questions and still we have a little time. So can you see the pricing once the bid won by another contractor?
Can you see the pricing once the bid is won by another contractor? We do have projects that are in different phases. Let's say, for example, they are in the construction phase. If the developer puts that information there, I do not believe we pull that information, but I'd have to double check and get back. I know we can see the value of the project. I am not sure if you can see the bid amount, the one bid amount that it was awarded.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of questions here that merit clarification. That Project Lead Finder is purposely going after early stage projects. So right. GCs have the opportunity to contact owners and architects before a GC.
Correct. And there's also, sorry, Eduardo. There's also another dimension to that. Majority of the projects that are in there are private projects. And as they are private projects, I don't think that the end bid would be something that they would advertise openly.
Yeah. And I think that also answers Blair's question. Do listed projects also include the plans, specs, and addenda? And the answer would be that because we are purposely adding projects here that are in pre-planning and planning stages, most of them in Project Lead Finder won't have those plans because right. You want to be contacting them before the plans are finalized.
Absolutely. And one thing you could do to leverage Project Lead Finder's advanced filters is to search, for example, by once you have a project you're interested in, you can see on the contact side the names of architects that are associated. Or another way to do it is to go into the contacts section of Lead Finder and then specifically search for architects. And once you find the architects, because architects are the ones who create the plans, once you find the architects, then you can look at the projects that they're associated with, as I demonstrated earlier. So now, let's say, for example, you find Darius Shafee, architect. You can click on a CTA that says, show me all projects I'm associated with. And then when you click that CTA, you might find that I'm associated with 5 different projects, right? And so therefore, now you can contact me and say, Darius, I'm interested in this project that you guys are working on. Can you share plans with me?
Perfect. It's a great question here by Adam. He asks, many projects already have a general contractor contact listed. Can I filter project to show only projects that don't have a GC already on the project? And I think if we don't do that, that's a great, that
is a great question. If there are specific types of, let's say, contact types, general contractors, we can take that back as an improvement idea and see if that's something that we could add to our filters down the road that says, hey, I don't want to see projects by this particular, if they include this particular type of contacts on it.
Yeah, we have a very specific question here. When it comes to, contact categories, which contact categories do we have? Someone is asking if we have geotechnical engineer. That seems pretty specific.
Okay, so contact categories, that is a good one. So we have on the company type, on the contacts area, you have, for example, architect, bidding general contractor, construction manager, consultant, design firm, design build, developer, engineer. So we do have an engineer category. We also have franchisor, owner, developer, project manager, property manager, the list goes on and on. To a previous question, if you wanted to see projects in the contact section, you could select which contacts you want to see and exclude general contractors. And therefore, you'll only see projects that don't have general contractors, or you'll see contacts that are not general contractors, and then you can follow what type of projects they're working on.
Perfect. We have a couple more questions. Do we get a lot of mechanical contractors using this for BIM?
Repeat that question.
Yeah, if we get mechanical contractors using project lead finder for BIM work.
Okay, I think I understand. That is dependent that any particular type of end user that is looking for these type of projects can come in. And let's say this was a very particular use case. This is a use case where an engineer is looking for projects that include BIM models, right? That information would be something that, let's say, for example, when you're looking for a project, those you can search by words and names. You could put BIM in that search, and if these projects that are posted, if they have the BIM as one of those words, it will come up. So then you could find projects that have BIM in them or not.
Perfect. And the other question that we got here is, where do we source our projects?
We source these projects from multiple different locations. Predominantly, we are sourcing projects that are private projects. Now, that's proprietary information that I really cannot share, because that's basically our secret sauce. But I can tell you that we are looking specifically for projects that are private. That's why we say you have like 90% of these are private projects versus public ones, because everybody knows where to go find information on the public ones. And how we source those private projects is proprietary information that honestly I cannot share.
Yeah, I guess we can clarify that lots of these projects are self-published, and a bunch of them are put in by research. So there's a mix
Absolutely.
of different
We have
sources.
researchers, yeah. We have researchers that find these projects for us.
Yeah, perfect. All right, last couple of questions here. Jerry is asking, they are a dumpster roll of company, and they would like to see the best way to find jobs and get viewed with PlanHub.
If I understood the last one, okay, so this is a waste